to the Dirty South Fantasy Football Podcast with your hosts, Eric Lee and Lorenzo Ice-T.
What's up, Lo? What's going on, my brother?
What's up, Ely? In the place to be.
In the place to be. Welcome to the Dirty South Fantasy Football Podcast, where we do this each and every Tuesday. And make sure if you are checking us out on YouTube, hit the subscription button and the notification button. So every time we come on, you will be notified, as well as if you're on Facebook or Twitter, definitely follow us and absolutely positively share.
Man, what you wearing over there? Is that a turtleneck?
Man, it's a mock neck. It's a mock neck.
My goodness. You in the house. Is it cold in the house? You know, I'm in South Florida, so I'm like, I see you in a turtleneck, mock neck. I'm sorry. I do know what those things are. I used to wear them as well. So
y'all don't do that. Y'all don't do that down in Florida.
No, not at all, man. Not at all.
No, not at all. So, man, interesting week in the NFL. That should be fun. We got a lot to talk about today.
No, it's an interesting night in Georgia right now. So I wasn't even sure we were going to have a show because I hadn't heard from you. So, we're watching this runoff. Speaking of running.
Oh, yeah.
We don't want to talk about that right now. So
we can talk about it a little later because there is a football player in the running. So
that's right. That's why we talked about running.
A Heisman Trophy football player. So he was pretty good in his day.
Yes.
Sometimes you got to stay in your lane.
In your day, too. You know what I mean? We won't talk about werewolves, and the United States is the best country. What did he say? The United States or America is the best country in the United States of America?
He said a lot.
When I heard that one, I was like, you have to be kidding me.
Yeah, he said a lot. He's
all right, let's talk to football, man.
Let's talk some football, man. NFL, fantasy news, all kinds of stuff. Man, just heard about this.
Well, I got to say congratulations to you, man, because you made it to the playoffs, man.
Made it to the playoffs.
You made it to the playoffs.
And we can talk about that a little later, too.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, cool.
So let's talk about what's going on in the NFL, man. Good gracious. This guy pops up again.
I mean, the Rams need him, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They need someone right there because Bradford's out for the Matthew Bradford. Oh, my God. Matthew Stafford, yeah. The Rams signed him, right? Los Angeles Rams signed him.
Yeah, the Rams signed him.
Yeah, the Rams signed him. So, therefore, with Matthew Stafford out hurt, they're going to need someone that can quarterback. So, they don't know what's going to happen with Matthew next year, Right. I think after, and I had Matthew in fantasy football the year he won the Super Bowl. It just seemed like after that, everything else was going to go downhill after that. I think, I don't know how well he's going to play next year. So having Baker Mayfield on your roster will help because we don't know what I keep saying Sam Bradford. Matthew Stafford's going to do for the Los Angeles Rams next year.
Well, based on what they said the injury was, they said it was a spinal injury.
Oh, okay. So that's serious.
Yeah, that's a serious injury, man. So, I mean, back to Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. Well, we know. I mean, they have some talent in Los Angeles. So if he just learns how to, do like you mentioned, Jimmy G, distribute the ball and get it to your playmakers, he may be able to salvage his career.
Well, most people are actually going into to the playoffs in most leagues this week. So if most time, I'm assuming right now, if you already had Stafford, you've already replaced him in terms of having somebody to run your team. If you're in the playoffs and you're missing a quarterback, well, hey, the man's right there, Baker Mayfield. Do you trust him?
No, not at all. I mean, if you're in the playoffs right now, you should have a pretty steady quarterback at this particular time. So I don't even think you're even entertaining signing Baker Mayfield unless you're in a dynasty league and you want to load up on some quarterbacks. So but outside of that, he's got to learn the offense. And it's a little different from what he's done before because it's all about timing and being in the right position. And he's used to being someone that extends plays and scrambling in the pocket to make things happen. So the Rams offense is not totally suited for him unless he basically changed the way he plays quarterback.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. Well, a lot of other things are going on in the NFL. Let's talk about this gentleman right here because he's killing it.
Yeah, he's tearing it up.
He's tearing it up.
He's tearing it up, man.
He's tearing it up. He's set every. I think he's set the record for all rushing quarterbacks that ever played the game in Philadelphia. That includes one Michael Vick, one Randall Cunningham, one Donovan McNabb. This boy bad.
I mean, the game last week, I played against him
Right.
in fantasy football last week at 39 attempts, 29 completions, 380 yards, and 3 touchdowns without an interception against a pretty good Tennessee defense. So, and the fact that doesn't even have I don't even know if that has any rush for 12 yards. So he barely ran the ball, but he did score a touchdown. So fantasy wise, if you pick Jalen Hurts, you probably got him somewhere and let's see where this guy, you probably got him maybe in the third or fourth round.
Third or fourth round.
You know, if you drafted him, let me see here. History, he was drafted in the third round in our league. So so that's a good place to be able to get him, and great value. And based on the way he's playing, if you have him on your fantasy football dynasty league team, you're gonna be able to hold him, and you're gonna be able to ride with him for quite a while.
Yeah. The thing about it is, let's talk about him in terms of regular redraft for next year. Is he now the first quarterback off of the sheet?
I don't know. I mean, you got to put Josh. You still got Josh. You got Patrick. But because he does run the ball,
right,
a great deal, that does make him a double threat. And we'll just have to look at at the end of the year to see who leads the NFL with fantasy points when it comes to quarterbacks, and see if he's up there at the top. Right now, I believe Josh Allen is leading with points. Let's see. Let's look this up right quick, as I see right here. Quarterbacks. Got to go over here.
Why are you looking that up, Chef Jew? Thank you for shouting this out. He wants to let everybody know. He's like, hey, man, how y'all doing tonight? We doing well.
Well, actually, Patrick Mahomes is leading with fantasy football points, and then Josh Allen, and then Jalen Hurts, followed by Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and then Tua Tagovailoa.
Okay. Yeah. That's so. I mean, he's still a man.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, he may be one that you go for next year.
Yeah, I'm thinking you should.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the man right here. Gosh, man, every year, I love me some Lamar Jackson. But he always gets hurt.
He started off so well at the beginning of the season. You're talking about MVP possibilities, and then you hit the middle of the season where the Ravens, I mean, it's not all Lamar Jackson's fault. I mean, they have no running game. They have no running backs, basically. They picked, Kenyon Drake up as a free agent, and they've just been dealing with so many injuries in the backfield as well at the wide receiver position. So all of the weight of the offense has been on him all season long. And this is the year that he decided to say, okay, I'm going to show what I'm worth, and I'm going to get my money, and I'm going to bet on myself. And this is, the result of it right now. So what does he do? Does he come back? They're 8-4, so they're still in the running for the playoffs. But what does he do, and how long is he going to be out will determine what he does going further. But, I believe he's going to come back, especially if the Ravens still have a chance to make the playoffs.
When you think about it, whose place did he take?
What do you mean?
In terms of who did Lamar Jackson put on the bench? Joe.
I don't understand. Joe, you talking about Joe Burrow?
No. The quarterback before
Joe
Lamar. Flacco. We were talking about betting on yourself. I mean, he saw it happen. Remember?
When Joe Flacco, when he won a Super Bowl.
Joe Flacco said he bet on himself.
He bet on himself. Yeah. So he tried the same thing. But I don't know, man. I mean, you have to look at what this organization, the Baltimore Ravens, have been doing over the last few years. That's Baltimore. I've lived there. It's a blue-collar city, and the team definitely represents that city. But they have to do a better job of getting better talent for Lamar Jackson to be able to succeed. Yes, they continue to win these games, and they win them kind of ugly and boring, and they have drafted some wide receivers, but can those wide receivers stay healthy? And they have a decent defense, playing better now than they were early in the season, but they have to put some things together to get them over the hump. And how long will Lamar be patient to sit back and wait for them to bring these pieces? I always say it comes back to the Miami Dolphins. Look what the Dolphins first 2 seasons under Tua Tagovailoa, he had nothing. This season, they give him weapons, and he's excelled. So I think they have to do the same thing for Lamar Jackson. And we just talked about who we're talking about? Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. They got him A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
Once they got him A.J. Brown, boom. And then, you know what happened today? Tennessee fired the general manager.
Fired the general manager because the AJ came to town, took him to task. The owner said, "And why did we get rid of this dude?"
Exactly.
No, we're getting rid of you now.
And he talked about it post game. He talked about it. So that was
he said he didn't want to leave.
That's right. That's the style of negotiations. I wanted to stay in Tennessee. This guy didn't want me. And therefore, I left. And so now I'm showing up and showing out against your team in Philadelphia. And then the general manager loses his job the very next day. That's incredible.
They usually don't do a whole lot of firing their general managers in the middle of the season.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the power of the athlete. That's the power of the media. And when you're that good and you let this guy, and what did Tennessee get for him?
They got some number 1 draft picks. They picked up Jalen Burke because they thought that Burke was going to be the heir apparent, but he can't stay healthy.
Right, that's the problem.
But he couldn't stay healthy in college either. So but he's a big target.
Yes,
I mean, he's pretty good, but he ain't Brown.
No, man. So.
Matter of fact, folks, if you are out there and you play fantasy football, you're getting close. Actually, most of us are going into the playoffs. And do us a favor. We can help you out if you can. If you have any questions about your lineup, put it in the chat. Ask us anything that you want. If you want us to shout you out, definitely say something in the chat. We've got a lot of folks that are on our chat right now. So shout out to my man, Kenna Rankin, Cap for Life, and Chef Jew. They are in the place to be. Definitely want to thank you guys for checking us out. In addition to that, if you're checking us out on Facebook or Twitter, definitely hit that like button. And if you're catching us on Rewind on YouTube, make sure you go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get caught up on all of our content every time we put it out there.
Yeah, so there was a question that we had last week, and I was thinking about it during the game, whether or not to start Mason from the 49ers. And I remember when I asked that question, I was like, Miami's defensive front normally does well against running backs, and they have. And McCaffrey, definitely, he did go off. And I did say, no, you start McCaffrey. But Mason, I'm not sure about. Now, Mason didn't score a touchdown. He had a couple of good runs, but that didn't give you a lot of fantasy football points. So,
one of the things we did talk about last week, too, is we told everybody, if you get a chance, sign the running back of the Jets, the dude that
sure did. We sure did. And I picked him up, and I beat you to it this time.
I saw that. I was like, no, beat me to see. No, so
but I got hold on. No, but I got to give you a round of applause. That Christian Watson pickup. Huge, and everyone in our league should be kicking them. I couldn't get him because you were in front of me on the waiver wire.
Right.
So, but he scored 20 points for you the last 4 games.
Yeah, easily.
Straight.
And the thing about it is, I'm in 4 different leagues. I picked him up in every league.
Oh my goodness.
Off of waivers.
Wow.
Nobody was checking for him.
Nobody was checking for him.
All they had to do is listen to us.
We talked about it. We talked about it because I've been watching. I've been watching him because I have Romeo Dobbs. Dobbs. So I was thinking about picking him up early on in the season when Romeo was dealing with his problems, and I'm like, I got 1 Green Bay wide receiver. I don't want to have 2. So then after that game, we was like, yo, man, we're gonna pick him up. And I said to you, I was like, I don't think we're going to get him, man. We too far back on the waiver wire. And you put in the claim and you got him. And he's probably scored, 80 points for you in the last 4 games?
Oh, yeah. It's Aaron Rodgers' favorite target.
Man. So, yeah.
And what's crazy is if you go back and look at some of the other leagues, he's still about 50%.
He's not a bit. Wow. That's crazy.
Folks don't. I'm like, shh, whatever.
That's crazy.
Oh, Cap for Life just hit me up. He says, I got Christian Watson and Tyler Lockett and Drake London and they all on bye weeks
this week, right? That's crazy.
That's
crazy. And we talked about it early in the season, and I don't know. That's something we have to talk about amongst the owners because
Absolutely.
now the fantasy football playoffs fall. Historically, it's always been week 14,
Right.
but now because they've extended the season an extra game, now the buys fall on week 14.
Right.
So should we start the playoffs on week 14? Maybe we should do it 15, but normally the week 18, last week of the season, you have so many players that are being rested. So which works better for the league? I say start it on week 15 because at least on week 18, it's only 2 teams playing that have to, you know what I'm saying? There's only 2 owners that are trying to grab players. And in our dynasty league, our bench should be so packed with players that we should have a lot to choose from. Unfortunately for me, if you go and look at my lineup right now, I got 9 people either out on our IR.
Reserve.
It's been like the worst season.
You got the mash unit.
I'm like, yo, I'm just trying to get plays. But next season, I'm gonna have a good squad when everybody comes back healthy. So, but and I've had no one cares about anyone else's fantasy football team. But unfortunately for me, in the 2 leagues I'm in, I had the most points scored against me. In one league, I was second. I think in our league, I have the 3rd most points scored. And what do you do about that? You know what I mean? When you have that many points scored on you, and you're not going to win as many games as you lose. Even though
everybody brings the A game when they come to see you, brother. That's it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been, I lost 3 in a row, man, 7-6. But I limped in. But I'm gonna try to get that number 1 pick.
There you go. See what Lorenzo is talking about. In our dynasty league, in order to make sure people don't tank, because people will tank to get the first round draft pick the next year, we have in addition to the championship round to win it all, we've got a consolation tournament going on, and the winner of that tournament gets the first round draft pick. First pick, first round. That keeps people from tanking. Yeah. Got to do that. What about this gentleman here, man? I feel sorry for him. They're gonna make a movie about this dude. Jimmy G. I love me some Jimmy G. Jimmy G got to go down again?
I'm sorry my team had to do it to him, but
you heard
he
may come back.
Yeah, he didn't need surgery, so he still may come back. But basically, they're saying maybe by the championship game. I mean, that San Francisco 49ers defense is really good. Right. If you watch that game, the defense is really of course, the backup quarterback Purdy did a great job in managing. Dude? Yeah, he did. He did a great job. Of course, me being a Dolphins fan, I am upset with the fact that our defense allowed him to torch us the way that he did. And he basically did the same thing that Jimmy Garoppolo would have done. But still, when you lose to the 3rd string quarterback,
hold on, he's just not the 3rd string quarterback. You do know who he is, right?
He is now the starter.
No. You know who he is,
about Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. Irrelevant is now relevant.
Yeah, he's now relevant. So, when Jimmy G got hurt. He's the
last player in the draft picked.
Man.
The last one's like, okay, y'all got the last draft pick. Who you picking? I don't know. Who left?
I was thinking, and I know we're on Miami Sports Music, so we got to talk a little bit about this game. Yeah. And I definitely and a lot
shout
of
out to Miami Sports Music. Thank you, Steve, for having us and taking care of us. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, and the Miami Dolphin fans, of course, are really upset with Tua Tagovailoa and the way that he played because he didn't play up to the level that he has been playing for the last few weeks. But I also put a lot of the blame on the defense. There's no way that that you should have Duke Riley covering Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield. That's one. There was a decision that he made. He put Tyndall in the Chicago game. He put him on Justin Fields as a spy. He put a rookie on him. The decisions that Josh Boyer is making on that defense is hurting this team as well. And San Francisco did something unique on their defense and if you are you're a fan of football, their linebackers are very athletic and fast. And they were taking drops. If you normally took a drop of 5 to 10 yards from the line of scrimmage, they were taking 15-yard drops back because they didn't want to get beat along with the safeties. So when the wide receivers, if the play is designed for him to run a 7-yard curl and you're supposed to go behind the linebackers, they were dropping back so deep that the wide receivers were making those 10 yards instead of 7 yards. So the timing between Tua and the wide receivers were off because of the depth that the linebackers were taking. On that second drive, I think it was Fred Warner tipped one of the passes on a third down, causing the Dolphins to punt. So I think that played into Tua's head saying, okay, I got to get it over these linebackers' heads because they're taking so much of a deep drop. And it was just a great design by San Francisco. And because they have great athletic linebackers, they could do that. However, when they do that, you have to be able to run the ball. Our problem was with this game is we had our left tackle, All-Pro, Teron Armstead, and our right tackle out in that game. And still, with 5 minutes left to go in the game, was driving at the 49ers 30-yard line. And if Mike Gesicki catches the ball, we could have possibly scored and taken the lead 24-23. So that's all I got to say about that game. Okay. Yes, Tua didn't play great, but there were so many other elements that a lot of drop balls too. So,
Got a question. Cap for Life says he's been hearing rumblings of Andrew Luck in San Francisco. You hearing anything?
No, I didn't hear that today.
I didn't hear it. Okay.
I did not hear that. Not today.
All right. I mean, I get it, well,
I mean, that would be a great fit.
Oh, yeah.
Do the coach still have his rights?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, we have to look into that.
And another gentleman that came back this week, he was a little rusty, but we could expect it. Deshaun.
Mm-hmm.
He's on your squad, right?
Yeah, he's on my squad. But yeah, I picked him up really just for next year. When I picked him up, I was like, all right, at least I hope to have an elite quarterback next year when I drafted him, and it was him and Kirk Cousins was terrible this week. I think they scored for me 1 point respectively, both of them. It was terrible quarterback play for me on my team. I lost by 23 points. If those guys had just done what they were supposed to do, I may have won.
Right.
He had a terrible game. I actually watched that game more than any other game just to see how he was. And I think he should have just ran the ball more. Had he ran the ball more, got hit a couple of times, it may have been able to get up to the speed of the game, but he was basically throwing a lot of short passes, was out of rhythm. And the interception that he did throw in the end zone, I have to credit the Houston Texans safety on that particular play. He fooled them. He thought he was going with the receiver, the tight end that was going across the end zone, and he acted like he was going with him, and then he stopped and came back, and it was just a great play by the safety. But I think as time goes on, Deshaun, and then playing in Houston, hearing the boos, so I had to have a huge effect on him. That's why I felt he should have just, okay, if you're not passing the ball, run the ball.
It was. I saw the post game interview, and they asked him, "Have you ever been in a situation? How was it feeling? Every time you come out and snap the ball, they boo you." And he was like, "Yeah, it's happened before."
Yeah.
When I played South Carolina when I was at Clemson.
Yeah. Hey, let me respond to one of these questions here. The guy said, color commentary said, or throw underneath, in reference to the 49ers linebackers taking such a deep drop. One of the problems with that was that because we were missing our right and left tackles, they didn't have the running backs to come out or the third wide receiver to go underneath, because if that wide receiver is going running a streak pattern, they are a lot of times only releasing 3 wide receivers into the patterns because they were max protecting so much for Tua Tagovailoa. So that is true. But if they're healthy at the tackle position, then that's when they'll have more success. The bottom line is they needed to run the ball in that game, and they only ran it 8 times for 33 yards, and they should have ran it more just to make the defense respect the run and then use the run to set up the pass a little bit more. But thank you for your comment. I understood. You're absolutely right.
Okay.
Well, and the Jeff, you're right. The Jeff Wilson pass down the sidelines, that was the worst throw of the game, because Jeff Wilson would have went straight into the end zone, would have been another 65-yard touchdown. Right. I mean, Tua still threw for basically 300 yards. He just missed some wide open players, you know. So let's hope he bounce back on Sunday against a defense that is not as good.
So this is what we do, folks. Each and every Tuesday, we break down the NFL in terms of fantasy as well as the real game itself, because, fantasy football is huge. I think fantasy football the platform itself has expanded football to just a
Yes.
regular lay person, that they're like, man, they know more about football than they ever have, because instead of just paying attention to their team, they're paying attention to every team in the league. And they're watching every game, because you may not be a 49ers fan, but if Christian McCaffrey is your running back and it's the Sunday night game, you're gonna watch that game.
You're gonna watch it. You got to play on that team. And we had a game in our league last night when Tampa Bay and New Orleans were playing last night. There were two teams. One player was down. One owner was down 2 points and had Mike Evans.
That was Carl.
That was Carl. Okay, so that was Carl. So I was watching the game.
I was watching it too.
And watching to see if Brady was going to throw to Mike Evans. And I think on that last drive, Mike Evans was on the sideline.
I was cracking up.
I was like, oh my goodness. And then on the play, when he throws the bomb and the defensive back interferes with Mike Evans, and it's a pass interference, I know Carl had to be mad.
Carl had to be sick when that happened, because he only lost by 2 points.
Exactly. So if Mike Evans catches that pass, he wins that particular game. So, and that's what makes it so much fun, because you can watch it from so many different perspectives. Yeah. And that was a fun one. And it had nothing to do with my team, but I was pulling for the guy that was losing, watching Mike Evans the entire time.
Hey, so we're going to talk about this kid right here, Desmond Ridder. Now, for the folks in Atlanta, we know why we're excited about this kid. They were not going to play him until we were probably mathematically out of the playoff running, because, I mean, truth be told, the NFC South is probably the saddest division in all of pro football right now.
Yeah.
So right now, last night we were a game behind Tampa Bay. But if Tampa Bay won, they'd be 2 games ahead of us. So we were kind of pulling for the Saints, so we could be, pretty much everybody in first place, all 3 of us with the same record, pretty much.
With a losing record, whole teams with a losing record, right?
I know everybody with losing records, but the crazy thing about it is, now that we're a full 2 games behind, they'll probably play Desmond Ridder for the rest of the season. Now, if we go on a 4-game run, we could catch up with everybody and pass everybody. You never know. Yeah. But the cool thing about it is, if you're out and about and you're looking for a quarterback and you need somebody, this kid is the real deal.
I may have to take your advice on that, because I got Deshaun Watson. I got Deshaun Watson and Kirk Cousins right now. So those are my 2 quarterbacks.
Your boy color commentary.
I might have to take a shot at it.
You said he was balling in the University of Cincy.
I may have to take somebody else's advice on this, man. Let me go to the waiver wire right now. Let me go right here.
No, it's already taken. I'm pretty sure he's gone, because I know I'm pretty sure he's out of our league. Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, go check it out. I think Tua legit to quit got him.
Oh.
I think she got him.
So he was no longer on the waiver wire.
Oh, he was never on the waiver wire. She drafted him.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. She drafted him.
Okay.
Because we see the talent in him.
Right.
The thing about it is, you got to realize he played 4 years at Cincy. He started all 4 years. And he played against Georgia twice. So it's not like the guy can't play ball.
Okay.
So Marcus Mariota, look, sometimes coaches outcoach themselves.
Well,
because
let me ask you this.
Too long.
Will this quarterback throw the ball to Kyle Pitts?
Oh, yeah, he'll throw it.
Yeah. I'm like, that was a waste all season long.
Color commentary, I'm on your page, brother. Yeah, you're right. He did look good when we kicked the tires. He did. He looked good. Hey, Lo, we got a question about lineups. You ready for it?
Yes, I'm ready.
Questions about your lineup? It's time to start them or sit them on the Dirty South Fantasy Football Podcast.
Now I got to find it. Here we go. Got a question. Do we trust Darius Slayton as the number 2 receiver against Philly this week? Darius Slayton, New York Giants, going against that Philadelphia defense.
I know, but
didn't play Slay. Gonna be on him the whole
What's
time.
going on with Daniel Jones?
Oh, Daniel Jones. What is going on with Daniel Jones? Because right now he's not doing well.
Yeah, I don't. You know
they
what?
Lost the last 3 games in a row.
It depends on what other choices do you have. The thing is, what you might have to keep in mind one, please check first and foremost what the weather's going to be like.
Right.
Check the weather. And
Where's
that game? Is it
New York or Philly is going to be the same.
Yeah, check the weather first and foremost. That'll determine whether or not they're going to have a,
rain, wind, and everything else.
Rain in the forecast. And if Philly gets up on the Giants, then the Giants are going to have to throw the ball basically to catch up. So he may be able to get his points or get you some points later on in the third and fourth quarters because they're going to have to throw the ball to catch up. I don't know if this game is going to be close. You need to pick up somebody. If you can pick up somebody on Dallas, I try to do it because they're playing the Texans this week. You know, so
I don't trust Slayton against Philly. I mean, I think Philly got too much, and they got dogs in the front. They're gonna hunt.
Yeah.
They're gonna be looking for Daniel Jones on the whole time. So I just don't trust it. If you got to rock with it, run with it.
Do you think the Giants will be able to score on Philly at all?
Not much.
Yeah, but it's still
no more than 10 points.
Yeah, but yeah,
and goal and a touchdown.
But like I said, it depends on who your other wide receivers are. So that's a tough one.
That's his number 2. He said that's his number 2.
Yeah.
So he's got a good number 1. You might want to pick somebody else up just in case. You know, because there are a lot of cats out there right now. So
and it depends on how many teams are in this league and what his waiver wire looks like.
Right. Man, 30 minutes in the books, brother.
And that was quick. That was quick. that was real quick.
Hey man, let everybody know how they can catch you.
Man, let's go another 5 minutes.
Man.
No. Let's talk about the league, man. I got to give you your props, man. You came on strong the last few weeks of the season.
Oh yeah,
you made some
at first.
Yeah, you were struggling early on, and you came on strong. And in fact, I think you had the most points scored and this past week in the league. So. Yeah. Your decision, your team, and you got healthy on there. So congratulations on that. I mean, I think you're looking stronger than anyone else right now.
That was a good pick, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that was the pick. That was the pick that put you over the top. And the irony of the fact that we both talked about it, and I said, neither one of us are gonna get him because we so far back on the waiver wire. I think out of the 16 teams, I think you were probably 12 at that time, and I was 14. So, but check that out. And but I've definitely had a good time playing in this dynasty league. If anyone out there is interested in playing fantasy football and you're really into it and you want to be able to make transactions, I made more transactions than anybody else in our league. I enjoy that because I like gaining players. And it can make up for some of your draft mistakes. That's what I look back at.
Yeah.
And I said, man, I should have picked Josh Allen number 1. And instead of Jonathan Taylor with the considering 16 teams in the league, you're not going to get an elite quarterback and just play the rookie running backs, which I did very good at picking up Jonathan Walker and Isaiah Pacheco, who basically started for me this week. And they're going to be, great for me in this playoffs and next year. But if y'all looking for playing, I highly recommend, finding a dynasty football league. It's nothing like it. And I've been playing dynasty fantasy football for over 20 years. And it's nothing like dynasty compared to everything else because all the other leagues, you're restricted. It's 14 teams, it's 12 teams. And, unless you just want to win by having all the good players, that's fine. But I like finding diamonds in the rough and being
I got one.
Yeah. Finding diamonds in the rough, So,
and the thing about it is you're going to find them because the people that you started with at the beginning of the season, most of those folks are hurt right now.
Yeah.
I mean, because think about the Jets. The Jets, they've gone, this is their 3rd starting running back.
Quarterback.
They still got 4.
Quarterback.
This is their 3rd running back. Brees
Hall.
Oh,
yeah. That's right. This is their
3rd running back. So, and there's still 4 to 5 games left. So when we're talking about the fact that these kids are getting injured, and I can't remember a time when players get injured as much as they do now, and a lot of the players are blaming it on the turf that they're playing on, and we see everybody's getting pulled up with these high ankle sprains, these MCLs, the hammies, and so we see that there is a lot more injuries than we possibly when I remember watching football in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, it seemed like the players stayed on the field more. There's probably rarely a time that you saw Ray Lewis off the field, or Michael Irvin off the field, or Troy Aikman off the field, or Emmitt Smith off the field, or Deion Sanders. But everybody goes off now. Everybody's out. you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But they played on different. They played on grass in most stadiums.
And I just want to run through my roster for a second. Kenneth Walker out, right? Who else is out? I can't remember these first names right now. Cooks, wide receiver, Houston, out. Right. I'm just gonna go by the last names right now. Out. Who else I got out? Brandon Cooks out. Kadarius Toney out. Romeo Dubs out. Kyle Pitts out. Rashad Penny out. Darnell Mooney out.
Who's on your team,
Khalil Herbert out. Oh, even my guy Hassan Haskins on my taxi squad out.
Yes.
So I was like, I'm just trying to do what I can to get a starting unit on the field.
Right.
And so that was my season right there. And having the most points scored on me didn't help either. So
let's talk about it. Since we say we're gonna do a little overtime. What do you think about Deion Sanders, man?
Oh man, I'm on the side of Deion right now, man.
I love Deion. I love Prime.
I love what he's done, and the same thing that he's been doing. And you got to really think of it like this. A lot of people are saying, that he shouldn't leave the HBCU. He should say that because he told them that he was going to be there for an extended amount of time, or whatever the reasons why people are hating on him. Because they say he sold out and so on and so forth. But I'm like, okay, so he was there 3 years. He gonna win the championship. He brought so much to that school. They've got new facilities because of him. He's got some students
Under
there.
Armour is a sponsor of
the school. And who's to say? And you got to think about the influence that he put on so many African American men and our Caucasian or Anglo-Saxon brothers, because
they played for him.
They played for him. And the fact that the reach he has on social media is just as powerful as his reach in that locker room. So imagine what he's going to do when now he's in Colorado and he's going from, I'm not sure how much it was. I thought it was $500,000 he was getting paid. I heard it was $300,000.
$5 million, brother.
No. What he was getting paid at Jackson State.
Hold on. And the thing about it is, whatever he was getting paid at Jackson State, he gave half of his salary back to the school. So you can't hate on a brother like that.
So now you don't think he's going to donate more money back to the school? And I think I heard one of his sons want to stay there because he likes the HBCU experience.
The safety, the brother that's playing the safety.
Yeah, I think whatever it is. I mean, for people just to be coming out and hating on him, and we went to HBCUs. You know what I mean? And I've given back, over $140,000 to my school. So someone is saying, at Virginia State, Legends of Troy, we've given that much money back to our school. And because I want to go someplace else or give money to another school or do something else, someone's going to hate on me because of that? Nah, come on, man.
I like his best line was, coaches get terminated or elevated.
Right.
I was like, you ain't said nothing more true than that.
That's it. And and then he's going to continue to do the same things that he's been doing. And I've just applaud all the things that he's been doing. And we've been able to see it by way of social media.
And
so now with this big,
right now, it's time for somebody else to take the mantle
and
run with it.
Right.
Because right now, I watch 2 HBCU games a week on my television. That's on either Peachtree TV or one of the other affiliates that play actual HBCUs. We never had that coming up. There was never coverage of an HBCU on television. Now it's all over the place. So it's shined the light on an HBCU.
Right.
Everybody knows about them. They're doing college game day at HBCUs now.
Exactly.
Because that's the influence that he put in place. Somebody else has to take the mantle now.
Yes,
and run with it.
And you know what? And regardless of how people may feel about him, I think the person that could step in right now, and I'll call him out, I may call him myself, Ray Lewis.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis could walk right in, regardless of what you
Yeah.
may think of his past and what have you. He didn't do it.
Yeah, Ray
is
can
one that
motivate some kids.
Ray can walk in there and elevate it and take it to that level, you know?
Okay,
Michael
that's
Irvin.
what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do.
Michael Irvin could be one that Ed Reed, who's coaching. I think he's coaching at coaching at the University of Miami.
Yeah.
You know, Jason Taylor. So he could come in there and elevate it, you know. But it's prime time, and his personality, and he's charismatic, and all that stuff that he brings to the table. People are just going to miss it, and they're sad to see it go. Right. You know, and
it was exciting to see him. But you know what? He laid the foundation.
Yeah.
Somebody take the mantle. Let us go.
Yeah. And no one, all the people that are dissing him, none of them would have been like, all right, I'm gonna stay here, and I'm gonna turn down $5 million a year.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I'm gonna go to the place and I'm gonna give them half of my salary back. Prime did his thing. I'm not mad at Prime.
And
so I just had to throw that in.
It's going to be probably, I don't know what the team looks like now, but he was saying 65 to 75% of the players, I guess, on the team are African American or Black, and it probably will increase once he gets there. Right. So he's still doing everything he can to help educate, enlighten, inform African American men. He's just doing it in Colorado now.
Right.
You know, and then he'll be able to help others understand our culture a little bit more and knock down those barriers of race that we have to deal with, you know, because now he's going to be coaching all races. Like, I think he said something along those lines in his press conference.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean,
look, I don't know if I'm going to get a Colorado jersey. I might get a baseball cap.
Yeah, but man, I'm so proud of him, man. Yeah. And I'm happy for him as well. And just watch, he's going to continue to do things on social media. He's going to continue to do things on social media and impress us and entertain us all. You know, so that's what you're going to.
The internet, and you know what? Shout out to the internet because it never loses.
Nope.
Did you see the one where it said Prime said, "Give me my music," and then the Colorado band. They tried to play the music.
No, they didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
The internet is never lost.
Oh.
There's, of course, somebody made a comment that says you might want to put some of the band members in the portal. No more Sonic Boom.
Oh my goodness, that's gonna be a problem.
Oh,
yeah. He's gonna have to bring a new band there too.
Yeah. It's gonna interest you. Man. So let everybody know how they can reach you, man. Because we got some TV we need to go watch.
Yeah, man. What do you see right now on your TV? What's going on?
I've been watching football.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna run out here and get right in front of my MSNBC or my CNN. You can find me on Star 94.5, Orlando's only R&B, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, I'm on there having a great time. Number one, 2554 musically. So let's see, I got this talk station in front of me. I got to beat them. So, I'll be talking that talk. So in the afternoon. And also you can find me on Hot 105 Saturday, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. every Saturday night on Hot 105 in Miami. And of course, you can follow me on Instagram. I got, I got hacked. So I'm no longer on Facebook. I don't know what happened. I can't get back on there. Yeah, man. I've been kicked off of Facebook, but you can find me on IG under Lorenzo Ice-T. I'll get back on Facebook sooner or later, but that's why you haven't seen me on there, because I got hacked. Yeah. So, and
you can catch me at Dirty South FFL on Twitter, as well as on the Odyssey app at 100 Hip Hop and R&B on a daily basis. And you can catch me on Friday nights. We do the house party. So for my Chicago crew, my Jersey, Baltimore, we play the best house music. My man DJ Ebony is on the ones and twos, and Ebony stands for Easy Brother of New York. So it's going to be a heavy Northeast influence in the house music. And of course, catch me every Saturday from noon to 2 on 100 Hip Hop and R&B FM. We'll see you next week.
Got a good website there. Nice website, man.
Oh, go to that website too. Man. Let's do that. Actually, the website is really good. Yeah, so we'll catch you guys next week, guys, and we're going to talk about what happened in the NFL, and we're going to talk a little bit of college football because, oh boy, it's about to get real interesting. All right?
All right. Peace out.